Hi guys, it's Alex here with Recombo, and I have here Sony's three latest devices. These are the three handsets which Sony have released so far in 2013 here in the UK. These two are coming soon. This is the Xperia L and this is the new Xperia SP. And then this of course is the current flagship, Sony's first device of 2013, and that is the flagship Sony Xperia Z. Now we're going to move the L to one side and I'm going to take a quick look at the differences and similarities between the top two phones in the Sony lineup, mainly because these are both LTE devices, whilst the L is simply a 3G device. So this is Sony's second LTE device of the year. Now, of course, being the flagship, we get the most premium user experience on the Z, but the specs-wise, and although specs are fairly different, the user experience on both is very, very premium and quite similar. So first of all, with the Xperia Z here, you can see we have a nice slick user experience, and we have very minimalist Sony widgets. We have their main services in the form of Movies, Album, Walkman, Sony Select, and also if I scroll through the menu here you can see Sony's, we've got Play Memories Online, which is their cloud photo storage, we have Video Unlimited and Music Unlimited, and that's the main way that Sony are using the services to bring people into the Sony ecosystem. But for the most part, the Android experience, this is the Jelly Bean experience 4.1.2 we have here, is very, very minimalist and very clean, and we really, really like it. I think it's a really nice look and feel to a phone. Of course, on the Xperia Z here, we're rocking omni-balance design on the front and the back with this glossy glass front and back panel with the reflective sides as well. And there's a lot of symmetry, which is what the whole omni-balance idea is about. The front, as you just saw, is a 5-inch full HD display. This is the first full HD display phone from Sony, and it is absolutely stunning. On the back we have a 13.1 megapixel camera with an LED flash, which is also capable of HDR video, which is the first of its kind, I believe, in terms of the smartphone market. And on the front there we have a 2.2 megapixel front-facing camera. Hardware-wise, the Xperia Z has a 1.5 GHz quad-core processor, which is the first quad-core processor for Sony in a smartphone, with the Xperia T being last year's flagship and that only featuring a dual-core processor with 2 GB of RAM and 16 GB of onboard storage with the option for expandability via micro SD. Now, if I jump to the Xperia SP, we again have this really nice build quality. It has got elements of omni-balance to it, but it's kind of an amalgamation of omni-balance and last year's Xperia S flagship phone. I say that mainly because of this clear element down the bottom here, which actually is completely see-through. You can see right through the phone. And what it does is it lights up different colours depending on the notification that the phone is trying to alert you for, which is a really nice feature that the Z actually doesn't feature. Just move that up there. On the front we have a 4.6-inch 720p HD display, so it's not full HD and it's not as large as the Xperia Z, but nonetheless it is still very stunning, and as you can see, again, the user experience is wonderfully fast and sometimes actually feels a little more consistent. There's less UI lag than we have sometimes found with the Xperia Z, which might be patched in an update. Again, the user experience is very, very similar. There's the same amount of customization options. Things like small apps, which actually don't feature on the smaller L, also feature in the Xperia SP. And yeah, all around it's a really lovely interface to navigate. On the front, rather than a 2.2, we have a lesser VGA front-facing camera. And on the back we have an 8 megapixel camera, which is capable of full HD video but doesn't have the same HDR function that we have on the Xperia Z. Another big difference, of course, is that the Xperia Z is IP55 and 57 certified, which means it can take a lot of dust and water resistance. It has a lot of dust and water resistance, whilst as far as we're aware this isn't, and that's partly down to the fact it has a removable back, which accommodates the micro SIM slot and a micro SD slot, as well as NFC. You can see the NFC panel under the back. Both devices do have NFC, but you can actually see it when you take the back off the Xperia SP. The user experience, if I just jump back quickly, is equally snappy, even though we're running a 1.7 GHz dual-core processor here to a 1.5 GHz quad-core here, and also there's half the amount of RAM. There's only 1 GB of RAM here, and there's 8 GB of internal storage, so there's half the amount of storage, half the amount of RAM, and a slower processor, but nonetheless it still feels like an extremely premium phone, and actually weighs up quite well against the new flagship. So that's a quick comparison between the two top Sony phones, and of course they are both LTE and they're both come to the UK. Well, this is now available in the UK on 4G and 3G contracts. So that's a quick look at the two. Any questions, drop one down below. Thanks a lot.